Hello. Today we're back in Elden Ring, and we're going to be covering what I think is the best and most efficient rune farm in the game, in preparation for the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, which is dropping in like less than a month at this point, I think. I can't remember if it's June or July, but it's coming. It's coming soon, and we got to get ready. We're also going to cover a couple of quick ways to get some easy runes at the beginning of the game if you're fresh, on a fresh save. If you're not interested in that, go ahead and click up here next to my head for the timestamp for when the rune farm begins. What? Right? No, that's the subscribe button. Yes, I understand. They should press it. Give them the timestamp, please. Thank you. Anyway, let's get into those easy runes at the beginning of the game. On a fresh save, I recommend starting with the Samurai class as it has just about everything you need to get these easy early runes. It's not required, but it does make everything a little bit easier. Next, make sure you go ahead and die to the grafted scion or kill it, whatever. You do you. Next, make your way from the Stranded Grave up to Limgrave. Make your way over to the gatefront site of Grace. On the way there, make sure you stop by this corpse and grab these 4 kukri. Do yourself a quick favor, talk to Melina over here at the gatefront Grace and get Tauren. It's going to make everything a lot quicker and easier for you as we go. Hop on Tauren and make your way over to the Third Church of America, which is located at this spot on the map. Following the route you see me use here, you can actually make your way over to a teleporter that is hidden behind the church. This will warp you over to the Bestial Sanctum in Greyoll's Dragon Barrow. Now this is where the routes are going to vary a little bit. If you did not choose the Samurai class at the beginning, you're going to rest at the Grace in the Bestial Sanctum and head to the Round Table Hold. Once you arrive at the Round Table, you're going to head into this left hallway, continue until you run into the Twin Maiden Husks. Now, the Samurai starts with a longbow, which is required for some of these early easy runes, which you can purchase here if you did not start as the Samurai. With your longbow now in hand, return to the Bestial Sanctum and follow the route that I take on screen. Now, if you've kept up with me so far, it should be nighttime in your game. If it's not, you need to rest at a Grace nearby and change the time to night. What we're doing here is a Knight's Cavalry cheese, and it is required that it be nighttime for this boss to spawn. Once you arrive at this specific spot on the cliff, position yourself in such a way that when you fall, you will land on this branch. I missed just a little bit, but as you can see, I was able to recover. From here, you're going to want to jump off to the right side under that root there and park over here in this grass. Once you've arrived here, pull out your bow, and there are going to be 3 separate locations that we need to aim with the bow and throw kukri. The first of those locations is going to be the corner of this brick here. Wait for the Knight's Cavalry to approach, throw your kukri. Once he approaches that, aim at the bottom of that branch there, throw another kukri, aim at the top of the branch, and once he stops moving, throw the 3rd kukri. The Knight's Cavalry will then climb the branch and fall off the cliff, netting you around 40,000 runes for absolutely nothing. From here, you're free to continue across the bridge behind the Knight's Cavalry, where you will find a Spirit Spring jump right behind this tower. Taking it will land you in a graveyard where you will find a few thousand runes worth of consumable runes. Continue to follow the route that you see me take on screen now, and we're going to make our way over to Greyoll. Now, I do want to mention at this point in time, this is easiest with a bleed weapon. The Samurai starts with a bleed weapon, however if you do not have one, there is a flail that deals bleed damage in a chest right outside the gatefront Grace. Once you finally make your way over here to Greyoll, what you're going to want to do is start slowly chipping away at her health using your bleed weapon. Eventually that bleed buildup will cause a bleed proc that will do tons of damage to this dragon. It does take a few bleed procs to get the kill, but eventually you will be able to take her down. Defeating Greyoll will net you about 80,000 runes. If you do have a golden scarab, it will probably net you closer to around 100,000 runes. With all this setup now completed, it's time to make our way into the greatest rune farm in the game, in my opinion. Let's get into it. If you're starting from a fresh save, you're going to want to start here. There are going to be chapters in the video for you to check out if you are deeper into the game. From the first step, you will notice an NPC over here, the White Mask Varre. Now, it is not required that you speak to him, but it is important that you know that he is here. At this point, you're free to do whatever setup that you feel is necessary for your playthrough, and defeat Margaret the Fell Omen, as well as your first Shardbearer boss, Godric the Grafted. With those two bosses defeated, your next step is going to be returning to the Round Table Hold and speaking with the Two Fingers. Once you've exhausted their dialogue, return to the first step where you will find a message where Varre once was, telling you to seek the Rose Church in Liurnia. And this can be found at this location on the map. Once you arrive here, you will see Varre standing outside the front of the church. Speak with him and exhaust his dialogue, and he will grant you an item that allows you to invade other players. Your next step will be to use these festering bloody fingers to invade 3 other players. You're not required to defeat them during the invasion, all you're required to do is invade. After completing your 3 invasions, return to Varre and he will grant you a new item, the Lord of Blood's Favor. Varre mentions that he needs you to soak the cloth in Maiden's blood. There are 2 places where you can do this, the Chapel of Anticipation from the beginning of the game, or at the Church of Inhibition here in Liurnia. I'm going to show you the easier of the 2 routes, which is the Church of Inhibition. The church can be found at this location on the map on the northeast end of Liurnia. There will be an invader waiting to greet you at the church, but all you have to do is interact with the maiden in the chair next to the grace, and your Lord of Blood's Favor will turn bloody. Return once again to the Rose Church and speak with Varre, who's now very pleased at everything that you've been able to accomplish for him. After exhausting all of his dialogue, you will be granted the Pure Blood Knight's Medal. Consuming this item will teleport you to the Mohgwyn Palace. Upon arriving, follow the stairs up the palace where you will find a site of grace. Make sure you rest here so that you can return here easily. Follow the route you see me take on screen now to yet another site of grace. This will be the location for the Rune farm going forward. Once you arrive here, there are actually a couple different ways for you to farm runes. These Albinurics over here on the hill grant you around 2,000 runes per kill. With as easy as they are to kill, even as underleveled as you see me here in the gameplay, it's well worth your trouble. Your other option is once resting at the site of grace, if you turn right around and see this crow off the edge of the cliff, if you aim right about where I was there and fire your bow, you will hit the crow, he will run off the cliff, and it will give you 11,000 runes. You can rest at the site of grace, rinse and repeat for an easy 11k whenever you feel like. For lower level players, I definitely recommend using your bow on the crow, as the Albinurics can be a little bit feisty and kill you very easily. If you don't have a good AoE weapon, they can be kind of tough to take down. That being said, that is, in my opinion, the best rune farm in Elden Ring. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more Elden Ring videos coming up on the DLC, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys around.